By an act of the British Parliament, Nigeria became an independent country on the 1st of October 1960. Tafawa Balewa was elected Prime Minister. Nnamdi Azikiwe formed a coalition government with him and became Governor General, and Obafemi Awolowo became head of the official opposition. At independence, Nigeria had a UK parliamentary-style government. Three main political parties existed: the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, the NCNC, which had control of the Eastern region and was led by Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Northern People's Congress, the NPC, which had control of the Northern region and was led by Ahmadu Bello, the Action Group, AG, which had control of the Western region and was led by Obafemi Awolowo. The parties essentially represented the three main tribes, the Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, a bad situation in a country that was supposed to be united as one. It meant that the ruling party essentially represented only one constituency, in this case, the North. So why was the North so powerful? The answer is simply because the British had designed it to be that way. Firstly, they had created a northern region, which was by far the largest by geography and population, hence giving it the most seats in Parliament. Secondly, the North had always been ruled indirectly, so the local customs and power structures had remained untouched. And thirdly, rumors abound that the North had been helped by the British to enter power by devious methods including vote rigging and compulsory voter registration.
Gertrude, yes, I think that she's doing the right thing, as lawyer said, going to court, and so that we can establish the basis of these things. For lay minds, if you look at the reading of Article 146, it is obvious that Article 1463 recommended a certain process for the removal of a justice of the Supreme Court, and Article 1466 recommended a process for the removal of a Chief Justice. If the constitutional framers intended us to read those clauses together, perhaps they would have said so. What she's challenging now is that the process that undertook was a process that was towards removing her as Chief Justice of the Republic. That there's a separate process towards removing her as a Justice of the Supreme Court. But the dismissal warrant from the President suggests that she's been removed from both. That during the process of the process in the committee, she knew at all material times, and her lawyers knew, that the process was towards removing her as a Supreme Court judge. She perhaps was not told. And in fact, when the publication was made, there were legal experts who indicated that has the Chief Justice been removed both as Chief Justice and also as Justice of the Supreme Court, and then the government, in response to that, published the warrant, which was signed by Callistus Mahama, I believe, and which was very clear that she had been removed from both. So if you have two constitutional articles referencing a removal process for one and the other, and a person goes through one of these processes and is told that it's been removed from both, and she's going to the court to test it. My only concern is I'm wondering why she didn't go straight to the Supreme Court, because it appears that she's raising matters of significant constitutional interpretation. But I'm guessing that she knows what she's doing, and so the High Court will look at it. But I'm hoping that the Supreme Court can have the opportunity to look at it so that we can settle it once and for all. If the Supreme Court comes and says that when a process undertakes under Article 1466 to remove an individual as a Chief Justice, we should understand that process to be removing that person as a Justice of the Supreme Court as well. Then that will be the settled law. But until then, I'm sure that we will wait to see what happens. She has other complaints about the processes itself, about human rights issues. She's tried it once. The courts have said that it's an Article 146 process and they cannot look at it, etc., which disappointed some people. But let's see how she takes this on. And she also still has one application pending at the ECOWAS court, I believe, final determination on whether the government of Ghana will owe her money or not. The Attorney General has already indicated at the bar conference that the government of Ghana's jurisprudence is not to be guided by all of these foreign entities who write and talk. But we don't know, in terms of the protocols between the ECOWAS countries, the value of an ECOWAS court's decision. Is an ECOWAS court understood to be higher than all the national courts, and the Federal Supreme Court of Nigeria, the Ghana Supreme Court, the Togo Constitutional Court, Cote d'Ivoire Constitutional Court? Should we understand the ECOWAS court to have a jurisdiction higher than these? I'm not sure what the protocol says and why she applied to it. Or is the ECOWAS court there to just make pronouncements without having the power to enforce these pronouncements? I'm not sure. So it's an area that we should look at. But the sentiments about the removal of the Chief Justice on those matters, I think the jury is still out there. And perhaps it has become a political question. It's no longer a legal question. It's a political question.
She argues that the responses that she submitted to the president in respect of the 3 petitions were in respect of allegations for her removal as Chief Justice and not as Justice of the Supreme Court. Now, I quote, "The purported prima facie determination, a copy of which has to date not been provided to me." She's still expecting the basis for the establishment of the prima facie case to be given
But
here.
if it's true, she doesn't have that, then that's a big problem.
Yes, was in relation to the petitions for my removal as Chief Justice and not as Justice of the. And he said Justice Tokonu further argues that the committee was set up as stipulated under Article 1466 of the Constitution to consider whether or not to recommend her for removal as Chief Justice, but not as Justice of the Supreme Court. But Paul, have you heard those who have also said that this matter is an open and shut matter? It's decided, it's clear. And he, in fact, before you came, Hamza mentions, whilst you were here off air, Hamza, for instance, mentions the Ejechu matter. There's also the Justice Kwega matter, Ghana Bar Association versus the Attorney General, it must have been something 1995 thereabout, where that matter, in fact, I can even read exactly what the Justice Kwega at the time said. I'm sure you've seen that.
No, what is the Kwega case?
Okay, so let me read what
please read it.
It's the 1994, 1996. There's Ghana Bar Association versus Attorney General. I don't recall exactly what exactly the matter was, but this is what it says. Without mincing words, the ultimate result this action is intended to achieve for the plaintiff is the removal of the second defendant as Chief Justice of Ghana, and as a fallout, a judge of the Supreme Court. The substratum of the plaintiff's case, as we have stated earlier, is that the second defendant is not a man of high moral character and proven integrity to be the Chief Justice. Ipso facto, a judge of the Supreme Court, since the qualifications are admittedly the same. 4, if the second defendant is disqualified from occupying the post of Chief Justice on grounds of lack of integrity, I do not see how he can continue to be a judge of the Supreme Court. There's also one that someone has actually sent, which has to do with Justice Amadou Tango. That's more recent. When Justice Tokonu filed for some injunction applications when she felt that something wasn't being done rightly. Now, per Tanko Amadou's statement on this matter, where he says that and this was on the 28th May 2025, where it says the above, and there's a portion which I'm going to quote. The above observations provoked by paragraph 12 of the applicant's affidavit aside, I need hardly say that I arrived at the conclusion that this application must fail without relish, mindful of the fact that the applicant, Honorable Lady Chief Justice of the Republic, is going through a process that may define her career on the bench as Chief Justice and as a judge, one way or the other. So I'm saying that justices or judges have made some pronouncement on this matter as to whether the matter is consolidated, whether it is dual, or one does not affect the other. Do you get the point I'm making?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that changes your position on this matter, or you still think that it will be a very useful exercise, if for nothing at all, for it will improve our legal jurisprudence.
It will be a very useful exercise because in all of those cases, yes, I've heard what you said and I heard what lawyers said, and it's true. But we have to determine the value of these statements in the context of the judgment, because judgments are divided into 2, sometimes into 3. The most important part of the judgment is what the lawyers call the ratio. The ratio is the law. That is the case law. Now the judge goes on to say other things when he's writing the judgment. So those other things that he says are categorized as obiter dictum. Obiter dictum is not the law. It's the ratio that is the law. But the judge is always allowed to pour out obiter to guide us in the future and to get lawyers to pick it up and do some more research on it, etc., etc. My view of the matter is that these things that you have read in both the Ejechum and this Kwega one, they appear to me as the obiter. They don't appear to me as the ratio. In the case of the Dateba ruling, for instance, the ratio was clear. The matter that was before the court and the question put before the Supreme Court was whether or not, in the case of the Chief Justice's removal, a purported petition so to do, who does the prima facie? Because it wasn't obvious. And so the court came in to fill the gap. I think that they didn't fill it as much as they should have, because they said the prima facie ought to be done between the President and the Council of State. Chief Justice Tokonu continues to complain that she has not received that document. Because you see, that document really is the basis of the trial. That prima facie decision made by the president.
But
it's a document that ought to be handed over to her.
Is she entitled to the document?
She is entitled to her, and also entitled to the petitioner.
Okay.
And also given to the committee, because that is the basis of the trial.
Right.
So a letter comes to the president that please remove Chief Justice Bafo-Boni because of so and so and so and so and so that he has done, which is being alleged by a Ghanaian. So the president takes it and says that, sends it to the Chief Justice and says, this is what somebody has said. And so Chief Justice says, on point 1, I think so and so, on point 2. So the president and the Council of State have before them the complaint from the petitioner and the Chief Justice's response.
Yeah.
They look at that, conduct some preliminary research. They can ask BNI to do something. They can ask National Security to do something. They can ask Yoko to do something based on the allegations that have come. When they get all this information, they sit together and make a determination that on this one, this allegation was made. The answer given by the Chief Justice is not sufficient. It does not answer this and this and this, and therefore it requires a trial to do so. On this one, we think that this second one is dismissed. On this third one, we think that you have not answered so and so. So when Chief Justice goes to the committee, she knows the deficit and the work that has been placed on her shoulders. She clearly knows, and the committee also knows what they are trying. But without that document, you go to the committee and you stand there and say, okay, you are here. You wrote a letter to the president responding to the allegations. The president and the Council of State think that a prima facie case has been made. So let's start. I mean, how do you do that? That's the ghost trial. How do you do that? She has to be told that this allegation that came against you for the transfer of this person, your answer was so and so and so. But if you look at the allegation, this answer you gave is insufficient because you have not answered da. This process requires some cross-examination between you and the petitioner and for the committee to listen. And therefore, you have to come and answer. So when she's going, she knows that I'm going to be confronted with this allegation. They think that my answer was not sufficient. If I have more documents to push my answer, I take those documents along. But if she goes into a dark room, so to speak, in quote, and you are trying her, and there's the prima facie, which is the basis of the sermons, is not there, I'm not sure how that happened. But anyway, that's her allegation.
Even proceed to adjudicate over this matter, for want of a better word, without telling her why she's there.
Without offering her the prima facie, that's what Ayiko Otu has been.
As in documentary.
Yes, that's what Ayiko Otu has been crazy about. That where is the prima facie determination? What went into it?
Should have been told at the committee. At the committee.
Yes, she asked the committee, they don't have it. Kweku Azah.
Oh, she asked the committee, they said they don't have
several times. She said that, Ayiko Otu has said that. Kweku Azah, when she wrote a petition to President Akufo-Addo, wanting the removal of Chief Justice Tokonu, the process that Akufo-Addo went through, the prima facie determination was sent to him that they have made a prima facie on this and this and that, and we don't think that you have a case. It was also given to Tokonu. In the case of other people, that Tokonu was presiding as Chief Justice, and petitions went to her for the removal of these people, forwarded to her by the president, some important institutions of state. She had made her prima facie determination, sent it back to the president. The president sent it to the petitioner. So the prima facie must be there. That the prima facie is not there, if it is true that it's not there, I mean, I don't understand. Maybe that's why Sophia Kofu is speaking the way she's speaking.
That's fine, but I'm saying that documentary evidence of the basis for establishing a prima facie case against her, is this something she's entitled to as of right or out of courtesy?
If we conclude that she's not entitled to it as of right, it is like sending somebody to court and not specifically telling him why he's there.
Right.
That's what it means. It's like come to you and they say that you have been charged for stealing and this and that and that. So they say you have been charged for stealing, contrary to section so and so, for doing this, that. Right. So you go to court and say, my lord, I didn't do this. So what is not in issue, you don't talk about it in court. Right. What is in critical issue, you talk about it in court. But if you give a carte blanche trial, so she goes and she's not sure who the witnesses are, you even have to file the witnesses that on this matter, we are going to ask this person to come and testify because he said this. On this matter, we're going to do this. On this matter, we're going to do that. She indicated another process where during the process, in the first instance, when they went there to set out the rules, lawyers do that. They go there to set out the rules of the engagement. Her lawyer went to that meeting, and the people said that, the committee said, according to Ayiko Otu, that because she, the subject, is not present, her lawyer will not be recognized. Even though letters had been written to the lawyer prior to that process. This is what Ayiko Otu said. Letters had been written to the lawyer prior to that process. So the committee had already recognized the lawyer by writing letters to him that you are a lawyer for Tokonu, let her do this, let her do that. Those communications had been had. But then the lawyer comes to the Edu Lodge on day one, and he's told that, where is your client? She's not here. The subject of the prison is not here. Oh, then we cannot recognize you. So they proceed to develop the rules of engagement without the participation of her lawyer. If these matters are true, then it may make sense why Justice Sophia Akuffo may say that it's unfair. It may make sense why the Ghana Bar Association's resolution was to that effect as well, read at the bar conference last week. But we really have to be sorry if these things are true. And we perhaps have to ventilate these matters in a better way, but I don't know how. As I said, it has become a political question. The media activity is the precursor. What the Dafia Maporet is seeking to do essentially is to reset the ideological position of the Ghana Bar Association, and that's going to be very difficult. There's a reason why. The Ghana Bar Association, or many bar associations for that matter, have certain principles and philosophies they stand for. They stand for human rights, fundamentally. They stand for fair trial. They stand for a judicial system that is independent of executive. Every bar association stands for that because these are lawyers, and that is their practice. And their practice will be compromised if there are no human rights, if there are no rules of courts that allow everyone to be heard and clear rules of courts, if there are no independent judges, their work will be jeopardized. Their work is also very important in shaping democracy. By reason of this, you have had all the bar associations of the world almost automatically aligning with right-wing political parties. Because this ethos also you will find fundamental to right-wing political parties, human rights, fundamental to right-wing political parties. Independence of the judiciary, fundamental to right-wing political parties. And all of those rights that the Ghana Bar Association fights for, it is also the rights that right-wing parties look at. So if you look at the Ghana Bar in particular, it makes it even worse. It was established way back, but its ethics and code documentation was in 1958. Think about 1958. It's 1 year after independence. Think about the struggles that led us to independence. Look at Ghana's situation in 1958 of a right-wing and a left-wing party. Who are the people who are dreaming up this Ghana Bar Association charter? J.B. Dankwa. And so October. Okay.
This was the thing that they said it's a promo that will end. And then this was the latter, 1st October, they clarified. Okay. And the 2nd October, minority.
This is the last one, the minority one.
The rest are
so it started from June to October. Okay.
The reason I didn't add the other stories because for cutting purposes, if we add it to this to be confusing.
Which other story?
Evans Mensah, Sam George, one.
So how many videos of Evans Mensah? How many videos?
It's one.
The main one?
The main one.
Okay.
So for that one, there are two themes. One, you said you just wanted the part of the comprehension, but I thought we could add, you see, there was a part where he said, Evans, don't be an agent of mischief.
Agent of mischief, yeah.
So we started from there to the end. So that there are two things.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
The fact that if someone is questioning you as a politician, you get so defensive, you accuse him of being that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then also we have the video where he says that we will not accept. We've seen DSTV Multimedia South Africa trying to say that.
That's LAO. That's where does it appear in the timeline?
No, it doesn't appear in the because you see that theme is contradiction. So if we add it here, we will not be able to cut.
But do you have a date for it?
Yes.
It's June.
It's June.
Okay. So was it before the first meeting?
It was after the first meeting.
After the first meeting. Oh, okay. So he was sort of saying that they are responding to his calls.
Yes.
Okay.
But the reason I did it like this is we want this to be as one file. That one contradiction as one file.
Okay.
As Mensah as one file. If we mix it, cutting maybe.
But we have to do it like that. We have to start the Boakye interview before 10. What's the time?
26.
Okay, let's get it on. Yeah. Roll montage, roll montage, roll montage. Roll montage, roll montage, roll montage. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited because I have an interview with one of the most intelligent politicians of the Fourth Republic. Boakye Agyarko is here in the studio, and he'll be talking to me. Those days when he was a member of cabinet, Several cabinet ministers told me that Boakye is a dynamite around the cabinet table. And I said, oh yeah, I'm sure he understands the energy. They said, no, it's not just energy. When Boakye is around the cabinet table, he's able to make significant contributions to almost everything. Many people were disheartened when he had to leave the cabinet table on that evening where we were hearing from 2 o'clock in the afternoon that Boakye Agyarko would leave the office. And it was very sad when it was confirmed in the evening that indeed the Honorable Boakye Agyarko has resigned from Akufo-Addo's government, or that he had been fired, something bizarre like that. Anyway, time flies, water is going under the bridge, it's time to rebuild. The Honorable Boakye Agyarko has excited a lot of party supporters and many, many young people, particularly the university students and the TESCOM people. They are terribly excited that Boakye Agyarko has decided to offer himself for the leadership of the party at the national level for party chairman. The NPP has a lot more things going on to talk about than national chairman because there's quite significant brouhaha over the race to 31st January 2026. Some people had even thought that Boakye should actually be looking at leading the party as a flag bearer for the next election. But he's decided to run for party chair. He's in the studio today. We're going to have an exhaustive conversation about the MPP yesterday, the MPP today, and where is the MPP going tomorrow. So you can't miss that one. All the NDC people are watching. I told you that. And the flyer, and all the MPP people are also watching. Before then, though, Sam Nate George is on the menu, and we are going to be defensive of Sam George this evening. Don't worry, we're going to be defensive of him. But let me start with this. This afternoon, a young man called me. I don't know him, and I pick all the calls, so usually as much as I can. And he said, Mr. Paul, how are you? I said, I'm fine. He said, please, you don't know me, but my name is so and so. He mentioned his name. I said, yes, how are you? He said, I've been watching your program since I was in JSS. That kind of makes me feel embarrassed a little bit. It makes me feel I'm so old. I said, okay, thank you very much. So what do you do now? He said, oh, I'm a civil engineer. I said, he's watching JSS now, he's a civil engineer. Yeah, I said, do you study in Ghana? I said, yes, I study at KN University. I said, okay, so what's going on? He said, I want you to connect me to Mr. Raymond Archer. I want to give him some information. I said, Raymond Archer, the Yoko boss? He said, yes. I said, you want to give him information about what? He said, oh, no, Mr. Paul, it's not anything. You know, that's how we say it in Ghana. It's not anything. I just want to remind him of something. Many years ago, I had an encounter with him, and I just want to remind him of it. He gave me his number that time, but the number that I've been calling is not going through, so I thought that you will know his number. And I said, but why are you coming to me of all people to reach Raymond Archer, the Yoko boss? And he said, oh, because I was in JSS 3, and I used to watch Good Evening Ghana with my father, and I remember that you and him were very good friends. And I said, how do you know that? He said, because you went to Ivory Coast together and you interviewed the Ivory Coast president. I'll never forget that program. I was so happy. I said, oh, really? He said, oh, Mr. Paul, I have the video. I can send it to you. It's on your old YouTube channel. I said, okay, send it to me. He sent it to me. I looked at the video. I said, wow. So I called people and I said, look, what is Raymond Archer's latest number? I don't have it. Let me give it to the gentleman. He wants to speak to him. But I'd like to share the video with you. It's a 2011 video. 2011. It's just 2-3 minutes long. Have a look.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the opportunity. My name is Paul Adomochire. My colleague is Raymond. The little French I can share with you is Monsieur Président, merci beaucoup.
Merci aussi.
Mr. President, thank you for the opportunity. Happy New Year.
Merci.
For the rest of the time that you have with us, we'll be asking you questions about the election, questions about international relations. We'll ask you questions about the rebellion in the north, and we'll ask you questions generally about ECOWAS and the world. First of all, I want to find out from you the important question about the financial threat that has come from the ECOWAS, the French group with the bank in Senegal. It has been reported that at some point they will work to prevent you from being able to access money to run the country. And we also know that an ambassador has been appointed to the UN that was not appointed by you. How do you relate to this threat?
I will start with the second question.
I think that the crisis that we are encountering is a crisis. It's a small crisis. It's an ordinary crisis. It's a post-electoral crisis that you can see everywhere. Just to give you an example, in 2000, there was a post-electoral election in the United States. The first electoral conflict between Al Gore and George W. Bush. It took 2 months. They did the counting, the recounting of the votes, and finally, the president of the Supreme Court, who was very close to the Bush family, proclaimed that Bush was elected, and that put an end to the dispute. The difficulty of our situation here is that countries who are out of our African borders, France to be more specific, and the international organization are interfering with our local problem, and that's what makes it a bit complicated. How can Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the United Nations, receive the accreditation, the credentials of an ambassador who has been appointed by my opponent, who does not even take an oath here? So he's not president of this country, because in our constitution, the most important act that makes you president of the republic is that you take your oath before the Constitutional Council. But it's not their problem. They just do whatever they do. This is what makes our crisis here very complicated. But we will resolve all these problems and we will handle. They also mentioned that we will not have the signature for the money. The Central Bank of West African countries, there are 8 countries in this Central Bank: Côte d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, Benin, and Togo. It is this bank, the central bank, that has our currency, that holds the currency of the 8 countries. We did fight so that the central bank, as all the central banks, stays outside, out of politics, of political turbulence, political trouble, to keep their credibility. And the meeting of the head of states of this central bank will take place on the 22nd. That means next week in Mali, because it is the President Amadou Touré, who is now the chair. I've been invited to this meeting. We will go there and we will take the decisions. If not, it's not the central bank that pays our civil servant. It is the economic production of each country that provide resources which helps to pay ours. In December, the same people, the same bad-mouth people, say that we will not be able to pay our civil servant. We pay them. In January, they are screaming, we will pay them. But I want to say that we will discuss this issue on the January 22nd in Bamako. But we have
to... All right, that was Laurent Gbagbo with myself and Raymond Archer. Okay, let's get to the local stories now. Everybody has seen this video about the nurse. Have a look at it. Have a look at the nurse. Have a look at it. That's what the minister should be concerned about.
JM. are citizens. We are not slaves. We are citizens. We are not slaves. We are citizens. We are not slaves.
We are just pleading on the government to pay us. We've been working for 10 good months, no salary. Personally, my rent expired in 15th August. I've not been able to pay. My landlord is always asking, when are you paying? I'll be like, they'll pay us, please give me time. I stay at Spantine. I wake up Kolebu. I take transportation, 42 cities to work every day. How do they expect me to get that money to come to work? You go to work, doctors will write. Check patients' vitals, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Do RBS, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You bath patients, you tend patients every 4 hours. I'm doing all this just for the minister to tell me that he appreciates the work that I'm doing. Appreciation, babe. I don't understand. Which form of appreciation? How can somebody work and you tell the person I appreciate you for 10 good months? I can't stand it. I'm owing rent. What should I do to be able to pay my rent? I don't understand. They should pay us. Enough is enough. I'm tired. That is enough. Enough is enough. They kept my rent at 15. What the crowd? I don't know. You can't even ask somebody for money. The moment you test somebody, the person will be like, "You are coming for money," and the person will be giving you excuses.
Also, President John Dramani Mahama will be meeting with civil society tomorrow, and the list of people that the president is meeting is quite long. So we're going to show you the list, and then Imanis Kofi Bento says he's not going to attend, but Domahini has something very interesting to say. Anyway, let's ignore the list, and let's just go to the Domahini video. Domahini has been elevated to the Court of Appeal. Congratulations to him from the High Court, and today, after the interview, it's quite awkward, isn't it? Usually judges, when they are sworn in and they are robed and sworn into Court of Appeal, they don't grant interviews and make value judgments and propositions about government policy and all of that. Maybe the digital age is bringing all of these things, but historically you don't see judges make public comments about issues like that. Judges only really speak from the bench, and when they have to make a ruling, they can take advantage of the ruling and then say a few things. But judges haven't been sworn in by the president, and then journalists are thrusting microphones onto him, and then he says something about Galamsey. He says that in answering a question that there's no need for a state of emergency. See the Domahini video.
So far as I'm concerned, except at times I'm not in Doma, but I want to assure the people that so far as that area called Doma, once you are there, be sure that one day you'll be caught, and you know the punishment, minimum 15 years. Do you have to do that? So I'm calling on all Ghanaians that this is the only thing that our ancestors left for us, so we don't have to destroy the water bodies. We don't want to destroy our cocoa farms, and ensure that we do farming in the right way, so that we can all be happy as Kenyans.
So you think that the meeting is in the right direction?
Of course, yes.
Instead of emergency, you think?
No.
It
has not come to that. Let's look at how much we garner in respect of mining. I mean, once you declare state of emergency, the question is that who can do? If we are not able to get that resources, there will be a gap. How is government going to? So there's a need for us to do it. As for mining, nobody will argue that there shouldn't be mining, but it has to be mined responsibly. That is the whole thing. People who are doing Galamsey, we are destroying ourselves. There's a need to start. I want to appeal, especially as a chief. We, the chief, should not say we don't have the power. If somebody could do it, it's in the jurisdiction, and not allowing people to do it. Why can't you do it? In Doma, if you come there, I'll arrest you and give you to the police so that you'll be prosecuted. I want to appeal to everybody. They should ensure that the people should not engage in Galamsey, because if you do it and you are arrested, you know the consequence for it. It will not be good for all.
The Court of Appeal judge says we have not come to the stage of a state of emergency in Galamsey, running quite contrary and counter to the Catholic Bishops' Conference, to the Coalition on Galamsey, to the civil society, to the Ghana Water Company, and to the evidence from Kolebu Teaching Hospital on the type of diseases that are becoming multiplying among Ghanaians. It is interesting, isn't it? Ghana is a real democracy. A Court of Appeal judge, Domahini, says that no need for a state of emergency that we haven't gotten to that point yet. Well, send me your text messages and tell me how you see it. It's now 18 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Our big interview is coming up. But our assessment of what has been happening with the multi-TV, DSTV, since June with our minister Sam George is going to be a big story on the touch screen. That's our main story before we get onto the Boakye Jarko exclusive interview. There's a member of parliament is in trouble. Is the member of parliament for China Paga. The member of parliament says that he doesn't see the reason why the party chairman, the Honorable Johnson Asiedu Katia, who is also the chairman of the board for the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and who is also a presidential candidate for the NDC's nomination for 2028. Obviously, certainly now, we all know that he is, and we can boldly say that he is. Actually, he's only one on the ballots right now. People believe that Julius Debra will be running as well. Not clear indications yet, but Asiedu Katia, there's a very clear indication that he is going to be on the ballot. Today, my producer sent me a video about J.J. Rawlings talking about Asiedu Katia. Maybe we'll share with you, maybe not. But Member of Parliament has run into trouble. He's going to face the NDC Disciplinary Committee. At the Disciplinary Committee, he will be reminded that under the 1992 Constitution, if the party sacks you from the party, if you are dismissed as a Member of Parliament from the party, automatically you lose your seat. There would be a by-election because you are there for the party. The party is not there because of you. You are there because of the party. You are an NDC candidate. And he said that he doesn't see why there should be thank you tour. What is Asiedu Katia coming to thank him for? Quickly, he got a letter from Fifi Kwete that, look, show up and let's discipline you. I'll show you the letter that has been written to him. Whether you think it's against democracy, whether you think it's against free expression, whether you think it's a suppressing expression within party, whether you think it's adverse to internal party democracy. This is what the Honorable Member of Parliament said here on Metro TV. This is what he said. Have a look.
In my constituency, China Paga constituency, what are they coming there to thank us for? You've not given us appointment, employment zero. What are you coming to thank us for? Come and let's talk and know that this is what we need, this is what we are lacking. Our government cannot be in power and we will still be suffering. In my constituency, China Paga constituency, what are they coming there to thank us for? You've not given us appointment, employment zero. What are you coming to thank us for? Come and let's talk and know that this is what we need, this is what we are lacking. Our government cannot be in power and we will still be suffering.
Our party is in power and we will still be suffering. Okay. National Democratic Congress, in a letter dated 29 September 2025, and is signed by the Honorable Emmanuel Zumakwe, Director of Administration, and is written to Honorable Nichema Bila Alamzi, Member of Parliament, Chiana Paga, House of Parliament. His phone number, invitation to appear before the Functional Executive Committee. The attention of the Functional Executive Committee has been drawn to a widely circulated video recording from the studios of GH1, I said Metro TV, pardon me, it's GH1, in which you were heard questioning the rationale for any thank you tour by the leadership of the party in your constituency, as well as making other remarks which did not sit well with the leadership of the party. In view of the concerns raised by your comments in the said video, you are hereby invited to appear before the committee to provide clarification and further explanation. You are scheduled to appear before the committee on Tuesday, 30th September. That must have happened already at 2 p.m. at the party headquarters at Dabraka. By copy of this letter, the regional chairman is invited to come along with the Member of Parliament. Yours faithfully, Emmanuel Zumakwe, Director of Administration. Times are getting very interesting, isn't it? Look at the video again. Last one. Watch the video again. He's in serious trouble. Asiedu Katia has conducted a thank you tour to further his ambition to become leader of the party, trying to bring you MPs together and MMDCs together so that you can be his stronghold and a bulwark of support for him to win the thing against Julius Debra and Idrisu Haruna and Case Latu Forsen. You, Member of Parliament, who are you? You are a nobody. You sit in Parliament. Is it not the NDC that took you there? But for the NDC's massive campaign, would you have been elected to Parliament? Then you say that you didn't get anything. You are a Member of Parliament. That's what you got. The NDC gave you a Member of Parliament. You didn't get anything. You didn't get appointment. What other appointment do you want? You are a member of committees. Is that not an appointment? You will see what they will do to him. They will sack him from the party and create a by-election. NDC will win anyway. They don't care. He will see. Next time he will learn sense. Or is it against democracy? I don't know. It's a question for us to answer. When Boakye Jaku comes, I ask him that he also wants to be party chairman. If somebody goes to sit on TV and says, hey, me, my constituency, I haven't got anything, he say thank you to, I won't do anything, thank you to, what will be his reaction? Have a look at the video again. It's from GH1.
My constituency, Chana Paga constituency, what are they coming there to thank us for? You've not given us appointment, employment zero. What are you coming to thank us for? Come and let's talk and know that this is what we need. This is what we are lacking. Our government cannot be in power and we will still be suffering.
One more just before we get to Sam George. Hey, Mr. Sansadeli, is he there? I've seen him praising Sam George. Now he knows where power lies. Is he not the same person who was blasting Sam George that he's done this, he's done that? Now he's praising him. Next time you'll see, he knows where power lies. Yeah, I like this shots. Thank you. You see, wonders will never end. This is Bendoche Malong, and he's one of the finest broadcasters Ghana has ever produced. There's no doubt about that. I was with him. I've seen him at work at the BBC, Ben Malong. That's how we used to call him. We didn't add the Doche, just Ben Malong. And Ben Malong is one of the finest broadcasters ever. It was a delight for the Ghanaian media when in 2013 he came to Ghana to become spokesperson for the President Mahama administration. Some people have forgotten that. Ben Malong was a spokesperson for John Mahama's first administration. They mafiaed him out. Standogbe and others, they mafiaed him, and then he didn't understand the Ghana situation. The terrain was too confusing for him. I know what I'm talking about, and he knows I know what I'm talking about. And so he went back abroad. He worked for the BBC, distinguished himself as an African reporter. He was great on Focus on Africa. I think he's still the best. And Ben Malong is now with the United Nations, and he's sympathetic to President Mahama. You can understand that. There's no question about that. So he's been very excited about the victory of the NDC administration, and especially President Mahama. Musa Dankwa is also friendly with President Mahama. Musa Dankwa is a pollster. He will tell you that initially he started as a pollster. He's still a pollster, but he has very close ties with President Mahama and the NDC these days, which is okay. Musa Dankwa put up a poll that, the one poll he put up that I didn't understand was, among the people looking for the NPP leadership, who does NDC like? That poll, I'm still looking for him to ask him. In fact, I asked my producer to call him that, can he come to the studio? We are still working on that. He put up a poll that among the people who are running for the NPP leadership, who does NDC like? Then among the people running for the NDC leadership, who does MPP like? I looked at the poll, I said, I sent it to Kwabena Japan, the presidential candidate. I said, Kalari, have you seen this poll? He laughed, then he called me, we had a chat about it. I won't tell you what we said. Anyway, so then he went further to say that in the NDC one, Haruna Idrisu is leading. He said it more than once. Then he said it again. Then the thing is becoming a problem. So Bendoche Malong then comes in to say that, Musa Dankwa, what is this that you are doing? Musa Dankwa says, Shwe, Ahani, who are you? You sit in America, New York, and tell me what to do. I'll fire you. Look at the exchanges. Let's start. First one, Bendoche Malong fires. Bro, I said, dear bro Musa Dankwa, we accept you are brilliant. Yeah, okay. But please, pause your pulling on presidential aspirants. It's not helping our nation now. Which nation? Say that it's not helping your NDC party. Tell Bendoche Malong that it's not any nation matter. We are not talking about nation. This is NDC party matter. If it's worrying you, call Musa Dankwa and whisper to him that, Chief, Charlie, the thing you are doing is not helping him. Me, I call Abronye. I say, Charlie, Ojam, Charlie, this thing you are doing in some way. I won't come and write on Facebook that, Abronya, what you are doing is not helping the nation. Which nation? It's about the party. So Ben Malong shouldn't run away from the internal party problems that are going to occur. It's normal with all political parties. Today you say that MPP has confusion. MPP has confusion. Wait till Boakye Jaku becomes chairman, then you see that MPP is fine. But MPP is confusion. NDC too will confusion. It's the same thing. It is time for us to assess the democracy. The one that has been handed over to us. It is time for us to take the 1992 Constitution and have a look at it. And look at the ethos, the way we practice it. Whether we should do what the British are doing, where election cycle is only 1 month, campaign is only 1 month. Or we should continue with what the Americans are doing, but give local government. Let us run governorship in Ashanti region. Let us run MMDCs on political lines. These are the questions that we need to be asking. Otherwise, the great likes of Bendoche Malong, very nice people, will have this quarrel with Musa Dankwa. Which nation is he talking about? Okay, listen to what Musa Dankwa said. The thread continues. Musa Dankwa comes and says, hey, please, hold on. He says, they don't want the voices of the people to be heard. Aha! I love Musa Dankwa for that. He said, Bendoche Malong, you work for BBC. You are a Democrat. You believe in free speech. He's accusing you that you don't want the voices of the people to be heard. Listen, he says, they don't want the people... This is my pen. He says, they don't want the voices of the people to be heard. Musa Dankwa does not own the polls. This is Musa Dankwa talking now. Global Info Analytics does. And it is a company policy that we seek the views of voters every 3 months. But voters don't elect presidential candidates. So why are they worried? He doesn't even give Bendoche Malong the honor of mentioning his name. He continues. And this is where many MPP social media people were excited about it. Dankwa says, NPP government was never happy with the work we did. They never called on us directly to stop. So as a company, we will continue. No one instructs a polling organization on what not to pull because it is too early. Thank you, Musa Dankwa. You are my man. You know, Musa Dankwa is my man. You see, this democracy, it's a cycle. Today you are here, tomorrow you'll be there. So be shouting. You see what's happening to Sam George? We'll come to him soon. You see, Musa Dankwa is praising MPP. That MPP never liked the work he did. But nobody in MPP rose up to tell him that stop what you are doing. Because MPP are Democrats. They don't do that. You know Professor Folson, he taught Boache Jakun. Tonight we'll talk about a lot of things. He's dead. May he rest in peace. These are the people who allow free expression. The New Patriotic Party, free expression. The United Party, the National Liberation Movement. I'm saying some things, don't worry. So, he says MPP government was never happy with the work we did. But they never called on us directly to stop. And we will not stop. Then he goes on to say that imagine we had the call. Imagine we hit the call. Can you imagine its implications on our independence and objectivity? In the end, the polls will bring sanity into your race unless you don't understand how. Yeah, Musa Dankwa is brutal. He doesn't care whether you are NDC or MPP. He will come after you. And Musa Dankwa says he prefers MPP. They don't worry him. They allow him to do his work. Even we, those who criticize him, when he got us right, we brought him here. We apologized to him. That's how democracy is. Bendoche Malong. Bendoche Malong didn't stop there. He went on. The thread continues. Look. Bendoche Malong comes and says, in the United States of America, the citadel of polls, you do not see this fixation on and constant coverage discussion of presidential aspirants polling. At this early stage, Ben Malong is insisting that, hey, Musa Dankwa, stop the thing you are doing. Me, I'm in America. I am in the citadel of democracy. I understand what happens here. You can't come and bamboozle us. In America, where they do polls every minute, every hour, every week, CNN, every day CNN has a poll. In America, where they do polls every week, which Ben Malong is right, they do polls in America every week. He says they don't poll this early. Ben Malong is panicking that the early thing is going to destroy the NDC. But yes, it has a potential to destroy any political party that's in power with a president who is not running a second term. That is the reality of the matter. In 2021, February, Alan Kyerematen's hands was up. As soon as Akufo-Addo was sworn in, Alan Kyerematen rose his hand. As soon as Akufo-Addo was sworn in, Wontumi started organizing for Bawumia in Ashanti region. As soon as the thing was sworn in, Kwabena Agyapong raised his hand. People were going to Isaac Osei, Charlie, the thing has come, raise your hand. He said, oh, I'm not interested. So it is, you can't do anything about it. You can scream and shout, oh, let's have unity, let's have unity. The most important thing is President Mahama succeed. You can say all that. In the morality of democracy, it won't work. The people who want to file, they will file. Why are they doing so? Because the sitting president is not running. That's why we told you that when you have a transition in 2020, let us not go into another transition in 2024. You said no, you won't listen. Okay, we're in another transition. So Akufo-Addo transition 2020-2024, Ghana is going through another transition of a president who is not running another term. And Ben Malong is saying what? NDC should wait. They should wait for what? Haruna Iddrisu is campaigning already. He hasn't come forward. Now he has brought Madam Jane Nando Pokuagyemang there, venerable vice president. We will see what will happen. So Bendoche Malong appeared to have settled it against Musa Dankwa by telling Musa Dankwa that, look, in America, it doesn't happen that way. Musa Dankwa did not sleep. He says, hey, Ben Malon, wait there, wait. The America that you are there, we've all come there before. America, we know there. We just want to stay in Ghana. We all know what happens in America. In any case, there's Google, there's websites. Let me show you what the Republican did. Then he published this one. The governing party in the US will be looking for Trump's successor, and the posters are providing the public perception of who could be that replacement. Their government is not distracted. 2028 GOP primary polling average race to the White House. Musa Dankwa is telling Ben Malon that in that your corner, the New York that you are sitting in, they are polling about who replaces Trump. So if I poll about who is replacing John, what are you talking about? So viewers, I'm asking you, who won the fight? Musa Dankwa or Ben Malon? Who won it? Musa Chalemi, I think you won it. Oh, Musa, this is your smoke. I love it, man. Next time I come to the studio, bring me one. I think you won. You won the thing. Efo, I greet you. It's been a very long time. How are you? I have benefited from your words of wisdom many, many years. I still want to benefit from it. How is New York? Efo, next time I come to New York, I will take your number from Jifagonu, and then I will call you, and then we can meet. Thank you, Efo. Thank you. Hi. Okay, we are done with that story. Where else are we? Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's hit the dashboard. Last story before Boache Jaco. Let's hit the dashboard. Viewers, this story, it has pained me. This story has really pained me because Sam George is my friend. I met him at Alisa last week at the City FM event, and during the coffee break, he had cocoa and I think I had coffee, and I had meat pie. He also had meat pie, so we sat by each other, and then, you know, once we start talking, the argument came, so we started arguing, and then I was talking about the channel for this, channel for that, and he told me that he thinks that the NCA is doing something like that. So cool, you know. And I was telling him that the fight you are fighting, this, that, those are private conversations. I don't want to say it. But we had a lot of fights. Well, not fights, but, you know, arguments during the coffee break. So let's look at the dashboard first, and then we will we'll take it from there. What we have done here, viewers, and congratulations to my producer. What he's done here is that he's given us a list of the things that happened from the beginning up until the end. Let me run through it, and then we can give a bit of commentary. So on 27 June, Sam George invites the board chair and Ghana MD for MultiChoice to his office for discussion on pricing and publish same on his social media. He says, this afternoon I've invited country manager DSTV blah 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 on pricing. At that time, Sam George's ambition was that he's going to get the pricing to come down and Ghanaians will be happier with it. Some people questioned why he's dealing with a private company. This is a luxury product, etc., etc. Why is he interested in that? He should focus on things that are more important. Anyway, he had promised people that he would do it. Many young people wanted DSTV thing to come down so they can watch their Manchester United or Chelsea. Oh, this evening, what Nottingham Forest were beating. So sad. Anyway, let me move on. On July 4th, so the first date is 27th June. On July 4th, Sam George says he will not accept an upgrade of packages, but rather a reduction of fees. Now, this is the most controversial one right now. It's turning to be the most controversial because it looks like what we ended up with had been offered before and had been rejected by the minister. And later, the minister seems to have accepted it. That's how it's beginning to look like. Because here, DSTV says that they are going to give us an upgrade. And Sam George on 4th July 2025 says that he's not interested in any upgrade. They are reduce the prices. Reduce the prices means that compact is X. The price will become Y. Please, when I say X, I don't mean anybody. I'm doing my own X alphabet, A, B, C, D up to X. These days, when you say X in politics in Ghana, X, everybody says something. Not that X, my X, the normal X, A, B, C, D up to X. Okay. So what Sam George was looking for here was the thing saying that compact price is Y. It will now become W. Sam George rejected on 4th July DSTV's proposed upgrade that you are on Y, but you can get more channels. He rejected it flatly. I believe Ghanaians were with him. Let's move on. On 1st August, Honorable Sam George attempts to justify his statement by putting out data on pricing among other African countries. So Sam George says that facts are sacred. He says, I've considered levels of taxation, depreciation of currency and population of markets and come to the firm conclusion that Ghanaians are being charged unfair an unreasonable price for the bouquet on DSTV. The National Communication Authority of Ghana would act to protect Ghanaian consumers if no consideration is made to reduce the price. For God and country, he says. So he publishes the list on how other countries are relating to DSTV bills, and it looked like Ghana's own was quite high. So people were with Sam George. At this stage, Sam George is still cruising. Let's move on. That was 1st August. On 2nd August, the day after, Sam George further justifies industry regulations after backlash says that his actions are counterproductive. So as I was telling you, some people said that Sam George's actions are counterproductive. This is what he said. Free market economics do not mean an unchecked regulatory environment, especially for monopolies. Even in the US, regulatory action is taken against strong market players who are not monopolies like TikTok and Huawei. National interest must trump any other considerations. Our regulatory directive is not unreasonable or draconian. What happened in Liberia 2 years ago needs to happen here in Ghana. Sam George was suggesting to Ghanaians that this reduction has also happened in Liberia. 3rd August, DSTV replies by saying that the manner in which Sam George is requesting price reduction is untenable due to the competitive market they find themselves in. So this is where the fight gets interesting. For the first time since July, DSTV now come up and say, we won't budge. We're not going to sit down and make the cheaters every day. No. DSTV are going the revolutionary way. They said, look, minister, forget about what you are saying. We won't do it. We won't budge. You cannot come and tell us how to do our prices. That was the first time the fight now opens up. 7th August, NCA suspends DSTV's broadcast license. Hey. In line with Section 13 of Electronic Communication Act of 2008, the NCA has today directed DSTV Ghana of the suspension of their broadcast license. Per the law, they have 30 days to comply or address the issues warranting the suspension. Okay, so NCA goes ahead to announce a suspension of DSTV's license, but they give DSTV 30 days to do this and that and that. Sam George is biting and backing very, very hard. Move on. 15th August. Government fines DSTV 10,000 cedis a day for non-compliance. Sam George is leading. He's on the highway. He says, DSTV, you won't come and change the thing. We'll give you 30 days. Within that 30 days, every day you owe us 10,000. We can give that one to the people who are having bad water in Galamsey site. It will help to repair their water so they can drink nice water. Government fines DSTV 10,000 daily for withholding pricing data. September 5 is getting interesting. Sam George accuses DSTV of not wanting to comply with the demands of the ministry. He says here, let me be clear. I have no intention to continue tolerating the disrespect to Ghanaians by DSTV. If MultiChoice is not interested, as they claim in their last statement, in discussing a reduction of prices as they had indicated to me, we will proceed to effect the shutdown tomorrow, as indicated. DSTV indicated their willingness to engage the ministry on its concerns on pricing and prayed us to stay our enforcement action. If they have changed their position, then we simply will enforce the regulatory action. No company is above the law. When MultiChoice is ready to discuss price reduction, they can come to the negotiating table. Until then, there is nothing for us to meet over. The National Communication Authority Ghana will carry out the enforcement. Ghana is open for business. That's for businesses that respect our laws and institutions. September 5 again. DSTV ensures full compliance with ministry's directive. A statement from DSTV comes and says that we have noted the statements made by the Minister for Communication and Technology and Innovation, Honorable Sam Nate George. We continue to engage with the minister in a bid to find an amicable solution that is beneficial to all parties involved, but does not jeopardize the viability of the DSTV service. We will fully participate in the established working committee. However, we wish to clarify that MultiChoice Group has not agreed to a price reduction. Yay! There's something called supernormal, what do you call it? Supranational companies. You know, when we're in school, we used to learn multinational companies. Multinational companies grew to become supranational companies where they're sort of dictating what happens in government. So it was a concern for democracy people that these days the Unilevers, the Shells, and the big banks are becoming more important than nation states, etc., etc. It looks like that's where DSTV were punching. They were trying to show that, look, we're a supernormal company. We're a supranational company. We are in several African countries. You can't joke with us. We respect you, but you can't cross a line. So they said that we will not do price reduction. They've said it, pay. We will not do price reduction. So when we get to the end of the dashboard, let's see who won. Who did price reduction, who didn't do price reduction, and we can make a determination. But we are going to call out DSTV tonight for disrespecting a cabinet minister of Ghana. We're going to call them out. So hold on. 29 September. New price for DSTV subscription are announced to take effect from 1st October. This is where the problem started. So Sam George, this is the first error I think my brother Sam George made. He should never have been the one to make this announcement. You are a minister. You have had a discussion with NCA, DSTV and NCA and all of them. DSTV have agreed to publish some new prices. Let DSTV come and say it. Why are you the one, you the minister, coming to tell, hey Ghana, from today you are going to pay for compact 2 cedis? Is that a minister's work? Please, viewers, I've not been a minister before. I don't know. But Jakwan has been a minister before. Maybe you can tell me. Is that a minister's work? So, Boache Jakwan was Minister for Energy. Then he goes to have meeting with the OMCs. And then comes and says, OMC go to sell petrol for 2 cedis. Have you ever heard a Minister of Energy announcing new petrol prices before? A Minister for Energy, he's announcing new petrol prices. Or have you heard a Minister for Energy announcing the PRC people? And doing the PRC people's work and announcing tariff. Minister for Energy doesn't do that. Once the thing has been announced, the Minister for Energy now comes and goes to Parliament and says, Mr. Speaker, we have achieved so and so and so. On so and so date, the DSTV announced that so and so and so and so. Mr. Speaker, that was due to the work that we had done before in keeping up the reset for President John Dramani Mahama. Then the Parliament will say, yeah. But you, the minister, you have finished negotiation, then you come to television and radio, and he tweeted 3 o'clock, big announcement. What's the big announcement? I have changed the DSTV prices. Okay, yeah, we clap for him. Everything nice. I saw somebody on social media say that, let us wait for DSTV. Then I became worried. I called Nyama Dagadusa. I didn't pick up, so I left it. But when I saw that thing, I sent to a few people that, have you seen this? I didn't come to say something different. Anyway, we are there, then DSTV comes. 1st October, DSTV clarifies that the fee reduction is a promo, which will end in December 2025. Yeah! All hell breaks loose. Sam Jatta, what is it? The thing that you came to say, DSTV said that it's already a promotion. The same promotion they had announced earlier, that you said that you don't accept. Apparently it's a promotion. That is so embarrassing. And this is where I call out DSTV. You cannot disrespect our minister. You, DSTV, you were aware that on 1st October, you are coming to issue a promotional announcement about your bouquet. And you knew that the facts contained in your promotional announcement are similar to the facts that the minister was telling the Ghanaian people, but you didn't tell the minister that it's a promotion. Or did you tell him? And then the minister comes to announce to the Ghanaian people that there are new packages for DSTV, and then you come and embarrass the minister this way? No, DSTV, we should find them. Is there not a ministry for the Akoto says thing? What was it called? Honorable Akoto said he passed. Compliance. Akufo-Addo has a ministry like that. Compliance and something, evaluation and something. That ministry, yes, monitoring and evaluation, good. If that ministry is there, they should call out DSTV. You can't come from South Africa or wherever you come from and come and be embarrassing our ministers this way. Sam George, this one is very embarrassing. They let you come and do announcement. Then they finish, then they come and say that, oh, the minister announcement is promo. And in the announcement, they didn't even make any reference to the minister. No reference at all. So, NDC corridor went quiet. MPP corridor was bustling, jubilation. Samuel Brian Boabe, Nana Hesi Ojiri, Charlie, it was basa. I was feeling sad. People were calling me, then I picked the phone with my one eye closed. I say, I don't want to know. They say, hey, Ojam, oh no, Mama. I say, I beg you. They say, another call, and every call I see, they say, Charlie, you see that? See, oh, Charlie, Sam George, what is wrong? I say, oh, it's okay. They say, hey, Charlie, tomorrow, this one day, you get story for tomorrow. I say, I don't get any story. I don't do that. Sam George is my friend. But DSTV, why? You sit down for our minister, cabinet minister, member of parliament, to come and give an announcement, then you come and do this. Oh, no, DSTV. No. So we knew that power will work. So I'm imagining that Chief of Staff calls Sam George. Charlie Jatta, bra, Jubilee House, that they are sending me. What is this? Everybody's talking about it. This is the DSTV people. Charlie, let's call them and give them some fire. So they call the DSTV and give them fire. What happens after that? The same October 1st, DSTV clarifies its statement again, saying that it aligns fully with the minister's press conference and that management shall reconsider, review the payment terms in December 2025. Hey. Okay, DSTV, this thing they said nothing. This is not significantly different from this. Because here, you say that you will clarify it in December. So social media went agog. But it's the same thing. What's the DSTV say? Do you think we are children? You said that you review it in December. Some judge says a new policy. Now I say review it in December. What happens thereafter? 2nd October, Minority Committee, Information and Communications Committee demands an explanation on the change of stance of minister and to account for the fees collected from DSTV. That's Minority. Honorable Matthew Nyindam, he is the ranking member for the Committee on Information and Communication. He's not happy with Sam Joyce. Hey, Chief, it looks like you are playing ball with Ghanaians. Okay, what are you talking about? The night of 1st October, Sam George had appeared on Bernard Able's Point of View. They had George. The night of 2nd October, Sam George appeared on Evans Mensah's, what's the program called? PM Express. I watch both. I watch all. So, it's a PM Express that brought the problem. So this is where the matter ends. So right now, where are we? DSTV came back and said that the thing, now, what did they say? They don't even know what they are saying. That's why I put Nyama Dagadu's name there. Is it here? What did DSTV say? It says, they clarify it again. They said that we fully support the joint media statement that was issued by the Honorable Minister and the implementation of something. As contained in the said joint statement regarding the value offering, the committee will reconvene in 3 months to evaluate the impact of its initiative. The latest we are hearing from government is that the committee will not convene any 3 months. The thing is settled. We still don't know. They say you can upgrade, you cannot downgrade. So if I'm premium, can I downgrade to compact? It's not clear. If I'm compact, can I pay and watch premium? How long will it last? Is it truly lasting after December? We don't know. So who won? Who lost? Our minister was embarrassed. DSTV have to pay for it. But then the minister attacked the media. And that is where I depart from Sam George. Viewers, have a look at this video. This is the video. Okay, yes. So let me start now so it's easier for us. So then the Minister Sam George appeared on Evans Mensah's show, and I have to commend Evans Mensah tonight. I mean, fantastic. I mean, look, not me. If Sam George told me that you don't hear English, you go to GS, like the way I'll fight with him. No, I mean, Evans Mensah was so super. He said, "It's not about me." He said, "I'm not offended, but the viewers." Sam George still couldn't tell. I think immediately Sam George should have said, "Evans, I'm sorry about that. He immediately should have dropped it." But I don't even know why he went to GES Mas. Evans Mensah went to Aquinas Secondary School with distinction. He went to Ghana Institute of Journalism with distinction. He got a Chevening scholarship. He went to London School of Economics with more distinction. He doesn't hear English. Abeyo, Sam George. Abba. You can say, Paul Adomoche doesn't hear English. Me, I'm from the village in Ejo, so there's plenty bush there. We don't hear English plenty. It's fine. Our RNL is a problem. That's okay. But Evans Mensah is a crab boy. He's not a village boy like some of us. He went to Aquinas Secondary School. He's an old Tom. Then he went to Ghana Institute of Journalism. All his lecturers are around. They all talk about him. Then he went to London School of Economics, LSE. Then Sam George say Evans Mensah don't hear English at GES. GES should do what? Minister. Jemele Ona. Minister Jemele. You are still our guy. Have a look at the video. See what happened.
At 570, yes, you will get to watch premium subscription with 18 more channels valued at 865. So the question here is this. That's why I asked you, and that's Evans.
Again, from what you said,
Evans, I don't want to. No, wait.
You read what you said.
But let me land, Evans. I don't want to assume that you are being a merchant of mischief this evening?
No, I'm not.
Good.
I'm not. It's simple for me because I pay, you pay. Yesterday, when my subscriptions expired, if indeed expired yesterday, I would have paid for Compact Plus 570, what you just read. Tomorrow, when I show up to pay, I'll still pay 570. What I get is additional channels. It's the reason why you were careful in your choice of words. Increase value offer and not price reduction, is it not?
The Ghana Education Service will need to do a lot more in comprehension in our basic schools, because if this is your understanding, it's a big source of worry for us as a country.
What can we say? I wanted the other part of the video where Evans was admonishing him that he has to apologize to the viewers and all of that, but we didn't get that. But that's okay. So he heard the minister talking, and everyone has seen the video. Evans, sorry, you're a distinguished journalist, Charlie. We all have to follow your footsteps. The way you're able to manage this matter, I'm learning from you, boss. I'm learning from you, because me, if you tell me I don't hear JGSS English or something, I will be very, very offended. Evans Mensah says he wasn't offended. That's beautiful. Kudos to the great multimedia journalist and the great election coverage boss. Evans Mensah is one of the best when it comes to covering elections. You remember, since election 2004, he's been there. Sam Nate George. So, where are we? DSTV, that. It's time for Boakye Jarko. Please, let's take text messages and then we roll straight into the interview. Who shall I start with? Who has the microphone? Okay, Emister, what are people saying? After that, Jarko will join us.
Thank you very much, Paul. From Edo Bless. He says, please, Paul, your channel number on DSTV, please help me. That's channel 277. And then from Kwabna Safo Boateng, he says, this chief said if Mahama wins power, he'll be glad to be a communicator, so no qualms. And then Citizen Francis says, Sam George paraded the DSTV deal as a victory, but it's nothing more than a cheap promo. He promised price reduction, yet delivered nothing but the same old bill dressed up with extra channels. His arrogance and lack of strategy turned this into a total embarrassment. The fiasco should remind him, stop chasing headlines with empty deals that betray the people. Regards to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Ghana's next president, inshallah. Nana Owusu also says, there's a new saying that if you can't beat them, join DSTV. Paul, the lion has a tail, but the big head is full of confusion. Interesting times ahead. And then lastly, Ata Edusei Ernest says, does Docha Malone think NDC is the nation? If he fears that it will create problems for NDC, it is not our problem. What do you have for us, Manuela?
All right, so Said Countryman says, how Sam George moved from being a loudmouth so-called lion to a paper cup, aka a spineless person, is a case study for a masterclass in settings over substance. The guy lacks the maturity and emotional intelligence to run the ministry. He vowed not to agree to the value-added packages, but ended up saying same to the Ghanaian citizens. Yet he takes interest in insulting journalists and throwing his body or his weight around. Governance is stupid. This one is from Eric Owusi. He says, DSTV is currently using our minister for their PR. I can't even believe our minister is moving from one media house to another to market DSTV packages. This should have been the job of DSTV. But because of propaganda, he wants everyone to know he has done something. Biama. Edward Sego says, Boakye is a spent force. No more OGs. Simply put, no old man will be considered for the party's national chairman position. Excruciating lessons have been learned. No more mistakes. No more trial and error going forward. This is non-negotiable. This is the ideal choice, and he is here to stay. Nana Usu also says that, Paul, every country in Ghana has the freedom to fix their prices. This is a private business who is equally paying their taxes. Sam George has no right to interfere in their pricing of their products. JMD should sack the minister because this was a trade war that could have gone to affect our bilateral relations with South Africa. Paul, Sam George went for a price reduction but has turned into a sales and marketing manager for DSTV. This is pretty interesting. And lastly, from Jones, he says, this is clear cut that the NDC has nothing to offer the citizens of Ghana. Back to you.
Okay. Good evening, Honorable Boakye Jarko.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. The last time you came here was 2007.
I remember.
When you were running for president.
Yes.
I was very excited when I heard that. It was Kofi Kumsin who told me that he's going to bring me to you, and I would never meet any other intelligent person more intelligent than you.
Really?
Yeah, who came to see you at the
Junior's End.
Junior's End Hotel at the airport, and I was completely blown away. I mean, at that time you were still with the Bank of
New York. Yes.
And you told me how much you had supported the MPP in America and all of that, and Kofi Kumsin confirmed it. And then later on, Mustafa Hamid told me that he spends his weekends listening to you at the village. Yes. What is it called?
Krobo Dumas.
So he brought me there one day. I came with Alassane Tempuli.
Yes.
At the beginning of 2017.
I remember.
Yeah, and I remember the campaign and how you had used an analogy of two Krobo women. I never forget that. Nana Akufo-Addo was so impressed with that, I remember. I don't know whether it's 2012 campaign or 2016 campaign.
It was 2012.
2012 campaign, yeah. The campaign when you were campaign manager.
Yes.
And again, I came to your office as campaign manager and you gave me some demographics that's completely shocked me about how Greater Accra region is shaping up.
Yes.
And that has turned out to be true. And you told me then that if the MPP is not careful and don't look at these demographics, the time is going to come, we're going to lose Greater Accra region completely.
Same thing happening in Eastern region.
Eastern region is the same?
Now.
Or is that demographics you showed me on paper?
Yes.
I've never seen anybody who had independently done that kind of research of the voter movement of voters and the tribal connotations. And I mean, that's solid. That's amazing. I'm happy to know that you want to be party chairman. But let's start with first things first. Where is the MPP today?
Where are we today?
Yes.
Well, we are in opposition, having been in government for 8 years. But as a party, we find ourselves in a lot of difficulties, facing a lot of challenges, not unsurmountable challenges, but challenges nevertheless. I think that there is a need for us to refocus, for leadership to refocus, and look back and ask ourselves, who are we? What are our values, our principles, and our beliefs? And are we departed from them and therefore have become something else? And if we have departed from our moorings, our core values, then we ought to introspect and see how we return to those values. Because it is those that made us attractive to begin with. So I think that we are between and betwixt, and it's time for us to re-examine ourselves. If we've metamorphosed into something that is ugly to our voters, we better whip ourselves back into shape and become adorable to the nation again. This is where we are, on a faltering step, but nothing is so broke that it can't be fixed. And I think we all have to refocus and bring our minds to what needs to be done with discipline, with courage, with clarity of thought. And then we can move forward.
The MPP experienced the heaviest defeat ever recorded in the history of the Fourth Republic in 2024. Before then, it had been the NDC who in 2016 had experienced the heaviest defeat recorded in 2024. Of course, if you take out 1992, yes, it was the NDC was holding that record. The MPP broke that record with a significant defeat, and that has been the source of worry and the source of talk, because the MPP has lost elections before. This is not the first time it lost, but this defeat has brought up so many different conversations, accusations, and counter-accusations. When did you first get to know that the MPP had lost after the voting? Where were you?
I had gone to vote in Krobo. And as soon as I voted, I was driving, on my way back to Accra, I looked at the voter turnout in Krobo. And I said, well, okay.
Krobo is an NDC place.
It's an NDC place. Yeah. That's why I said, well, okay. But as I came up Apredi, Eastern region, from Somanya, Edukro.
Okay.
Going along the ridge, all the way to Aburi.
Ekuapim. That's an NPP stronghold.
Yes, something struck me that something was amiss. On the way, I got a call from Mrs. Kujo, Council of State, solid MPP woman with Gladys Asma and Mrs. Addison. And you could hear her distress. Osabuachi, abanun krofu wongo tuwo. Today my year loose. Take heart. By the time I got to Accra, I knew that what I suspected had already come in. Because I, with a small team, went around, we did Biakunye, we did Ejuma Kon, a few constituencies.
That's Central Region.
Yes, Ejuma Kon, Enyani Siem.
Yeah, but Atufoson's constituency.
Yes, I went to campaign there for 3-4 days. I went to Biakunye and focused in one of the very difficult areas of Biakunye to see what can be done to lift up. I also went to Achumangwa Bieja North.
That's Ashanti.
That's Ashanti. And a few others too. But this is about 3 months to the elections. The feeling I got was not very good. But before then, I had been invited by President Kufuor to see or to get a feeling of what I was thinking, what I was seeing, and so on and so forth. We had a lengthy conversation. And my message to him was that it's not good.
You told President Kufuor that it's not looking good.
It's not good. I said that I'll be, that time, I said I'll be surprised if we got 100 seats. He almost fell out of his chair.
Oh, you thought we couldn't get 100?
No.
We had 147?
We had 137.
137, yes. And you believe that the MPP would not get 100?
On my own data analysis.
Oh, I see.
So I went through the whole country with him.
On paper?
On paper.
Showing him the seats that are difficult.
Discussion. We started from Upper West, Upper East, Northeast, Northern Region, Uti, throughout all the 16 regions. And I told him that, he was distraught. And I told him that there were about 30 to 35 constituencies that if we attacked those, as if they were by-elections, we could salvage some of them. He asked me for the 30, I gave him the list. And that was after which I then set out to see what some of my young friends who are in for the first or second time, to help them on the grounds. But by the time I got to Accra, I felt that my suspicion had already been confirmed. Because it was a difficult election.
Why was it so difficult?
It was a difficult election because there is a psychological trap that we've fallen into. 8-year cycle. And you see, when we are in opposition, we talk 8 years.
Yes.
When NDC is in opposition, they talk 8 years. Yeah. I remember a very fantastic ad orchestrated by Obushi Kofi.
I was going to say Obushi Sai.
Yes. Mokwaya ni Mokwaba.
Yeah, that's the Kufuor one.
Yes, Mokwaya ni Mokwaba.
That's all. Mokwaya ni Mokwaba, that's all.
That's all.
But that was not 8 years. So it was for 22 years. Rawlins's long...
What I'm saying is that through subliminal messaging and advertisement, we have trapped ourselves over this period into this Mukwaya ni Mukwaba cycle, right? So that was one. The government also at the beginning put upon itself a heavy transformational agenda to implement within a very short time. That kind of transformational agendas don't happen on short leashes and short cycles. People talk about Singapore. People talk about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. People even talk about Cardoso in Brazil. These were not short leash 4-8 year cycles that lead to transformation.
12, 16.
12, 16. I've just finished reading a book on Xi Jinping. China. A leap from poverty, that's the title. A leap from poverty into prosperity. And you can see that it is a 30-year transformation, or even more. I remember when I went to China 2-3 years ago, I was taken to Shenzhen and placed on the site where Deng Xiaoping said that Shenzhen was going to be better than Hong Kong because it's across the strait, and made certain predictions about the evolution of China. He was talking of a 30-40 year plan. So Akufo-Addo's government had placed upon itself a heavy duty of national transformation. Somewhere along the line, it was going to be difficult. Somewhere along the line, the resources to accomplish it was going to be scarce. So by the time we were hit with COVID, all bets, in my mind, even though I wasn't in government, all bets were off. And I could see that that transformational agenda, as good and as cherished as it was, couldn't happen. But Ghanaians will hold us responsible for that. Also, I think that conduct.
Public conduct?
No. Party officials and appointee conduct. I remember speaking to party people at the regional conference in Chebi. And what I told the party people really was that our conduct and our speech is going to determine whether Ghanaians will feel that we are the safest pair of hands.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes. Right? We are a people with a short fuse, but not expressed. Nigerians are a people with a short fuse, but expressed. Nigerians will jump up in the street, jump in your face immediately. Ghanaians will blow their fuse and be smiling in your face. Right? Some of the conducts that came forth were not very good. And post-elections, I think that the three key things I learned post-elections were, one, that we in the MPP, anytime you hear of us, we are fighting over money.
At that time?
At that time.
Yeah.
Or, if you hear of us, we are fighting over posts. And three, anytime we as MPP open our mouths, we are speaking in unprintable, offensive language that the Ghanaian ear shouldn't hear. Right? And they cautioned us that all these three things we don't want. But we did not pull the brakes and say that, okay, they don't want to hear us talk in a certain way. Who is going to be the gatekeeper to say that you shut up, don't go on radio? I remember years ago, somebody sitting in a studio and talking their head off, and Damboche walking into the studio and yanking the person out.
Oh, I see. As General Secretary of the party?
I think he was General Secretary then. Radio had just started.
Yeah.
And I applauded him for it. You are sitting in this studio and you are talking like this. This is not us. He told the host, Pamela Freya. So there are a lot of gaps, control gaps without proper gatekeepers, without a clear definition of who is officially talking for this party. Anybody can say, me a foot soldier, me a spokesperson, I speak for the MPP, and go on radio and talk certain things that bind us. But there must be a certain clarification as to who can speak to bind the NPP and who is just talking because they have an opportunity to talk. All of those things, we lost the real guards. And by all means, when the real guards fell off, the power was bound to fall off the truck.
So you seem to be pointing to a weak party leadership between 2022 and 2024.
Definitely. But you see, nothing happens suddenly like that. In sociologists will tell you of the slow motions of decay. That in human lives, unless it's a catastrophe, the seeds of decay or destruction are sown and grow over time. I've gone back to read a lot of my letters with Darocha dating from 1991. I keep all those letters.
You used to write to him?
Oh, we used to write to ourselves almost every month.
Okay.
He, Ejenim Boateng, Dr. Kwam Safodu. I used to be with J.H. Mensah most of the time. And I have all their letters and other correspondence and their notes and their books and all of that, including my own father's. Reading his 1993 letters particularly, you could see the gems of what we are experiencing now.
I see.
Yes.
As a predictive document?
Yes, as a precursor, because he was cautioning us and the party about certain things all the time. Darocha. Because they were minute then, we thought Darocha was exaggerating or overblowing things. But they've germinated, they've grown, and now here we are. I remember in his 1995, 28th August address, he says, look, people are running around calling themselves leading members. Who made them leading members?
There's the media who did it.
Yeah, well, the party is saying that there are no leading members. And he says that all these committees and sub-organizations that have sprung up, anyone who wants to issue a statement must first clear it with the General Secretary.
Yeah.
If you don't, he will have an issue with you. I mean, now, every overnight, mushroom organizations, mushroom coalitions spring up and says things as if this is party position. It's gotten out of hand. And we must begin to curb and pull all of these things. Going into the last election, we had about 30,000 different clubs and
30,000?
Yeah, 30.
30,000.
Yes.
I don't believe that.
All over the country.
All representing the MPP.
All over the country. Two people get together, they name themselves as something, and then they are talking. Dankwa ladies in Tamale. Dankwa ladies in Tamale split into about 5 different organizations.
Oh, we have professionals for change and things like that.
Yeah, all of those. Right? Staunch ladies, staunch queens, beauty queens, this, that. And you're asking yourself, are they in possession of the message, the pristine message that they should take out there? Otherwise, communication becomes jumbled. One says this today, another says this tomorrow, and so on. All of that will jumble your message. The cacophony doesn't get into the head of the voter. And therefore, your message is lost. All of those things contributed. I think that there is certainly the need for tough leadership, not just at the national, but from the polling stations, electoral areas, particularly constituency leadership, region and national. Along the whole chain of leadership, must re-examine ourselves and whip ourselves back into shape and say that if I'm leading in this polling station, these are the things that are expected of me. It is unfortunate that a big organization such as MPP, we do not have work programs for various departments and levels. We do not have KPIs to measure performance. You're a polling station chairman, 5 people under you. In your polling station, there are 500 or 400 voters. Your KPIs, how many of these people have you talked to? Yes, no. Where are they leaning? Where are they? Feed that information to your electoral area coordinator or your constituency. Then your performance.
Almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa, dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late? Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From Natebia cause she be luckiest. Me and you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God down for boom. If you're poor, what's that to you? So would the coming of the Son of Man be. Hey! Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354. Also 0531 600 360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking Publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Edi asema menya oden o tiantie mu amanfo ada wo hye me boso obeto phone na mama me phone na say dada menya oden
the most surprised man.
Surprise ben.
Surprise.
Hey, Kofi Papa. Phone o iPhone 13. Nanya ne?
Ende me fankofo bi mienu o. Amuko circle. Ene ba ko ne ka chena dan fa hawa. Ono odi ni Ghana card eko EBA phone so a otua 40% pen edi ni phone man no a da aka no betua ne kakra. Timiti ya me drop na me so me call ho ana me kwanya wo phone de bre on.
Oh, Kofi Papa me da say. I'm sure.
Wo EBA phones hadie yeton iPhones ne ho akade nyina ye sanso de ma wholesale so ye dealer na so pedodo atua na se afi na wo hye iPhone business na se a braya se ye hwehwe ye chiro kwan e wo Accra Circle Mall any Tiptoe Lane modern photos in chain American Monso ye ni Odor Rice ene di nhwenim Kumase ye wedum ejekuma brunsan nim obetumi so hu ye e wo www.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calcate. Happy smile.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kalika, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Femi Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Come tum preko.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame? As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Obey you later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from to be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Senya, God, the apple boom. If you're poor, what's that? So would the coming of the Son of Man be? Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Hooray Ghana! The Ministry of Transport and its agencies invite you to the Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair 2025. It's the first of its kind in Ghana. From 22nd to 24th October 2025, the World Trade Center Accra comes alive with cars, ship, train, logistics and plane dealers all in one place. Are you a modern car dealer? Do you sell electric vehicles? Then this fair is your platform to shine. And the general public will experience free electric car test drives, maritime showcases, and even free helicopter ride. All 15 agencies under the Ministry of Transport, plus global car dealers, airlines, logistics.
So yesterday, Sam George finally came out with what he says is an achievement, and there are some achievements in it. You have to give that to him, but it's not really what the people were expecting, isn't it? But there are two important things he left out that he hasn't done. There are two things that the Ministry of Communication and the National Communication Authority need to urgently do to support local these channels here, GTV, Metro TV, Channel 1 TV, and all of these things. Now, this is the first one. These channels appear on the decoder. So when you go to your decoder, you can watch UTV on your decoder. I think it's channel 3 something. Metro TV is channel 277. Joy News is channel 420. GH1 is there. Channel 1 is there. I said that already. TV Africa, I think, is there. Adom TV, Joy Prime. They are all on this decoder. Many Ghanaians, many Ghanaians watch their local television from this decoder. They pay the decoder subscription to DSTV. When your subscription expires, the decoder's transmission will be terminated. When it's terminated, you can only see GTV. You know why you can only see GTV when it's terminated and you can't see UTV, you can't see Metro TV, you can't see TV3? Because those who own the decoder know that a large number of their subscribers are on the decoder because of UTV, because of Metro TV, because of GTV, because of Channel 1 TV, because that's where the bulk of Ghanaian urban and peri-urban dwellers get their local content from. That's where Sam George should be going. They should be disclosing to the Ministry of Communication the volumes and numbers of people who are accessing local channels through their decoder, for which such people are paying subscription to DSTV. That's what really the minister should be addressing if he's addressing something for Ghana. That's what the minister should be looking at. How many Ghanaians are getting their television, local content from the DSTV? And DSTV should be paying those Ghanaian TV stations. They should be paying UTV. They should be paying Metro TV. They should be paying DSTV at the end of every month or every period, every quarter, based on the numbers of people who have accessed these content through their decoder. That's really what Sam George should be doing. Because he's going to get us good prices or bad prices or worse prices, or Compact Plus now becomes Compact. That's okay. But the critical one that can sustain this industry is that the content that they are piping out, that many people are watching by paying subscription to DSTV, is the reason why such subscriptions should be paid back to these television stations. Ella, one message.
This one is from Nana Kwame. He says, Mr. Boakye has a strategic mindset, clean record, and internal support to help reposition the NPP for victory. If he can unite the party, modernize its operations, and rebuild trust among voters, he definitely has my vote. His leadership skill would be key in setting the tone for a serious and credible comeback in the 2028 election.
Saeed Countryman also says, the rich diversity of potential chairmanship of the New Patriotic Party is so amazingly therapeutic. From John Boydu to Wuntumi, from Boakye Ejiako to Nana Komia, there is every promise that the MPP is poised to select from a hall of fame and strategy, and is set to reinvigorate the leadership of the party. The MPP is set for a thunderous comeback, and from Esutifi South in the Ahafo region, I would love to see Honorable Boakye Kyeremanteng Ejiako as the next chairman of the party. His depth and worth is all that we need to guide us through our 2028 victory. Inshallah. Back to you, Paul.
Well, thank you very much. Honorable Boakye Ejiako, the big question people want me to ask you is that you have properly diagnosed the problem. Is it a winnable party in the next election, which is 3 years away, the NPP?
Yes, indeed. You know, Winston Churchill had a saying, says, 1 week in politics is a long time. Sometimes in life, events get into the saddle and ride mankind. My answer to you is yes, we can, and yes, we must. See, electoral outcomes are not etched in stone or cast by oracles. That's not how elections are. It requires a lot of work. You know, it is only in the dictionary that success comes before work.
Because it's S, it's alphabetical.
Yes. Okay. It's only in the dictionary that success comes before work. The rest of life, work comes before success. So we have to bear down, grind down, and understand that there's a huge task ahead of us. And for posterity's sake and for our own party's sake, we must grind down and do that work. And I believe that if we do the work, if we show ourselves as chastened, if we improve our communications, if we realign the way we do things, proper structural changes, proper procedural changes, proper campaigning organization, all of these things can happen within 1 year if we feel up to it. The question is the MPP ready to step up and play? And I believe that in the short 9 months, our mindset is moving to the position where we are saying, yes, we can, and yes, we must.
Is it not that people are looking at the NDC administration and moving away from an intimidated party in January and now feeling boisterous about the fact that, oh, if this is all what they had to offer, we can really win the next election? Is that not where the feeling is coming from more than anything else?
Well, you will always have that kind of feeling. Euphoric because someone may be failing. But someone's failure does not automatically guarantee your success. And we learn that from the Art of War, Sun Tzu. He says, no, the failure of your enemy or your opponent must not be the basis of your strategy. You don't count on your opponent failing as your strategy.
But is it not still better for the NPP that the NDC would have to migrate from President Mahama to a new candidate? And it creates an opportunity for a sort of rancor in politics, and that certainly will bode well for the NPP or for any opponent of the NDC for that matter.
I don't want to take these things as given or automatic. Look, people can fall into rancor, disorganization, and with good leadership whip themselves back in line.
Right? As a ruling party.
Even as a ruling party. As any organization. Look, go into military history. How certain troops have been totally disorganized, but with good leadership, they rally around and face the enemy again. That is the credit or the fame of General Patton, the Battle of the Bulge, right? So let us not count on the fact that NDC may be in rancor, and therefore that is our advantage. No. What is the work that we have to do as a party to strengthen us, to position us as the party of choice amongst Ghanaians, to make us appealing? If they fall in rancor, is bonus, right? But we have our work cut out for us, and we must insist on doing that work. If NDC falls apart, that's their problem, but treat that as a bonus. Because if they don't, then where do you stand? It's not a strategy.
In 1999, 2000, the NDC had a parliamentary leadership over the MPP of about 70 odd seats.
Yeah, we were at 61.
60 or 61?
61.
61, and they were at 133.
130 there.
Yeah, 30 or 34, yes. And then there was 7. It was us plus 7 and then them for a 200-member parliament.
Yes.
So that was significant. Then and it was overturned by the election time. NPP were leading by 2, actually, single 2 in 2000. Before the second round, NPP had single 2. And then in 2008, NPP had a leadership of about 40, and it was overturned in the elections. And then in 2016, the NDC had a leadership of about 50, It was over 10.
10, yes.
Yeah. This one is a leadership of 100 and more.
Yes.
101.
Mm-hmm.
Is it plausible for NPP to come round in 4 years to become the majority party in parliament?
I wouldn't frighten myself with these numbers. They look daunting, right? But you must have a stomach for the fight. Otherwise, you can never win. You must have the stomach, the plan, and the courage to say that this is what I want to achieve. Overturning some of these losses, I don't think they are beyond our reach. I don't want to see or accept them as beyond our reach. What I crave for, or what I want this party to focus on is, yes, this is where we are. This is what we are going to do. And we must do it. Look, I happen to read a lot of military history.
Mm-hmm.
One of the very important things that I learned from Napoleon's chief of staff, General Jomini, he said that anybody, any general, who is in a battle and starts with, I wish I were in this position, has already lost.
This is psychological?
No, you accept where you are. Mm-hmm. This is where I am. This is how I'm going to fight. And this is where I need to get to. But if you start wishful thinking that you wish you were someplace else, you won't be there. You won't have the men. You won't have the ammunition. You won't have all the tactical support on a wish. But if you accept that I'm in this hole, I'm going to dig out, you resolve, then you can win. Go to the Battle of Alamein, where the British forces under Montgomery pushed Rommel all the way out of the Middle East or North Africa. When he came, he says, this is the line in the sand. There is not going to be any retreat. Hitherto, the Allied army was always looking for the next place to run to.
So you are optimistic?
Highly optimistic. We have to get our minds and our thinking together and not be daunted by the number, but rather focus on the task ahead and say that it's doable. We are not saying we are magicians, but it can be done because we have the will, the wherewithal, the strategy to go ahead and do it.
Talk of magicians, I'll be asking you later at the end of the interview whether you believe in spirituality and all of these things, malams and pastors and all of that. That's coming up later. But everybody will not forgive me, the MPP big man, if I don't ask you this question. With all the things that you have put across, the Honorable Boakye Agyarko, does it matter who wins on January 31? That's a question everyone wants me to ask.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Because the primacy of our elections, right, is the strength of the party. Look, if you go through all the surveys, I used to be involved with the Trojan, that was done by Research International for Akufo-Addo's bid. Trojan 1, 2, 3, and 4. It clearly shows you that people's affinity is for their party. First.
In Ghana?
In Ghana.
Not candidate?
No.
Really? Oh, you may be right. That's why independent candidates don't
do well.
No matter how much they seem to be making sense.
If John Mahama had gone independent, he would have lost.
You mean if John Mahama went independent, he won't get 10%?
No.
The NDC candidates will still pick up the votes.
The the numbers that I have seen, when you stress test affinity and loyalties, MPP has about 42 to 45% affinity
in Ghana.
In Ghana. NDC has about the same number. That is how come floating voters become important, right? But floating voters cannot back a candidate who is independent for him or her to win.
Like Cheddar.
Because you see, apart from affinity, there is the ecosystem of organizational support by the parties. My thinking is simply this, that if you have a strong party that is not bickering, that is focused on affinity and loyalties, MPP has about 42 to 45% affinity
in Ghana.
In Ghana. NDC has about the same number. That is how come floating voters become important, right? But floating voters cannot back a candidate who is independent for him or her to win.
Like Cheddar.
Because you see, apart from affinity, there's an ecosystem of organizational support by the parties. My thinking is simply this, that if you have a strong party that is not bickering, that is focused on an agenda, it doesn't really matter much who the candidate is. Your party, if they are fired up, your base, if they are fired up, will get you the win. Why I say yes and no is that you may have a candidate who may carry too much of a baggage. And therefore, you will see that a 1 or 2% detraction may cause you a loss or may cause you a headache. I'm not saying that the candidate is not important at all, but the primacy of winning an election is how well tuned and fired up your bases and how structurally sound your party organization is. Once you do that, it becomes a platform upon which any candidate can stand with comfort. Reverse it, strong candidate, weak party, you will lose. You will lose. Yes.
I just like to explore the point about the candidates a little bit. These days, the way politics is run, you can have a candidate upon whom negative and untrue propaganda can be heaped. People might believe it, and it can occasion that candidate's difficulty. I think it happened, I don't have any data to back it, but I think it happened in 2008. That there had been a lot of negative propaganda against Akufo-Addo. The cocaine, this, that, all of which was untrue. But if you look at the results, it may have accounted for the 1 or 2% that you talk about. But it was through no fault of his. It was a massive propaganda machine well oiled by the NDC to make it like that. If you look at 2016's elections, you may find something similar. The NPP managed to have a well-oiled machinery campaign against John Mahama as being incompetent. Whether it was true or not, the Ghanaian people accepted it. And it may have occasioned the very heavy defeat that John Mahama suffered in 2016.
I agree.
On this 2022, there was a lot of heaped on Dr. Bawumia about inheriting a family agenda and a japadia and all of those things that may not have been true, but was heaped on him. So it gave the candidate's personality a very difficult sort of thing.
But those things are part of the political terrain.
And that can happen to any candidate.
That can happen to any candidate.
So when you say you can have a candidate who may have some difficulties,
yes,
in these days, they will heap difficulties on every candidate.
Yes, some may work, some may not. What didn't they heap on Jerry Rawlings? What effect did it have on him?
In the elections that he won?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you see, through his military period, he had inoculated himself against a lot of the things that were going to be said against him. Hey, we are Tiabre. So it was nothing new, not news. In politics, you must accept that propaganda is part of your political terrain. And in fact, that's why you set up in your research organization something called opposition research. Opposition, when you came to my house, I showed you the document. Maybe you have forgotten.
In the village?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm remembering a little bit. Yeah.
Opposition research basically looks at what are the weaknesses of your opponent and how can we hit him where it hurts the most. Because it's not a religion, it is not always based on truth.
The campaign?
No, the opposition research.
Yeah, okay.
It's not always based on truth. Look, if you remember 2008, NDC said the leadership of MPP had these accounts in...
Yes. In bank accounts foreign countries.
Prudential.
Prudential, yeah.
You put all the account totals together. They were 3-4 times bigger than the bank's total balance sheet. Now, how is that possible? Because the assets, deposits, must form part of the reconciliation of the balance sheet.
So you mean that's easy to counter?
No, but you see, because it's a technical area where most people can't understand, right? It works against you. Opposition research will always tell you that don't put propaganda out that can easily be explained. That is why Goebbels and Hitler said, the bigger the lie, the better. Right? So you as a politician must always understand that propaganda is part of your political terrain, and you must be ready
to navigate it.
To navigate it either by inoculating yourself against it or immediate response. Bill Clinton, you say something today, within 1 hour they are responding.
They don't allow it to fester.
They don't allow it to even gain any traction. So yes, every candidate can suffer it.
Barack Obama was like that too.
Yes. Yeah. Look, there's a Jewish saying that if you are accused that your sister is a prostitute, it doesn't matter that you don't even have a sister. Your sister is still a prostitute.
That's interesting.
Yes. I don't have a sister. But you say my sister is a prostitute. Yeah, we know you don't have a sister, but your sister is a prostitute. Yeah, they are tools.
It's part of it.
It's part of it. It's not a good part of it because it doesn't help citizens. This is a devious way to power. Because I believe that the essence of power must have a higher moral end to serve the needs of citizens. But if you go through a certain Machiavellian channel to gain that power, you will sooner than later realize that that power is getting you. That's
interesting, but people want power. That's the fundamental thing. So if you are party chairman, I'm coming to why it should be Boakye Agyarko now. If you are party chairman and it's 1 month to election, and Abronye, forgive me for mentioning his name, Usu Bempa, who else can I mention? Lord Comey, come to you, party chairman, that actually we have a plan. We are going to run Asidu Ketia down in a certain way. They ask, what are they going to do? So we are going to say that his grandmother did so and so. And you said, oh, but I know Asidu Ketia, his grandmother died when he was a child. So, but chairman, it doesn't matter. This one to work. You will see. We will start from Asempa. From Asempa, we'll do Omai. Then we'll do Joy. It will work, chairman. Are you going to say no? Because you are looking for the better moral sort of thing.
It's the ideal. In order to get to that moral end, you must have power. But you see, you always have to temper that desire with character. So, like all the propaganda books will tell you, if you come to me and say that we are going to say Asidu Nketiah's mother this, that, and that, the first question I will ask you, can it be easily debunked?
Okay.
Right? Are there sufficient witnesses, right?
To debunk it.
To debunk
credible
witnesses. If there are, shut it down.
If they are not, go ahead.
If they are not, because it's part of the political terrain, you have to manage it, right? I'm not going to play saint and tie both hands behind me when something, they are also doing it against me. But what I will always advise is, you are going to launch into propaganda. Can it be debunked? If it can't be debunked, don't do it. The second thing I will be interested in is the damage it may do to somebody else's character. See, reputations and character are very cultivated. You don't tamper with. Now, if this propaganda is going to damage a Esiedun Ketia's character beyond repair, I won't allow it.
Even
because that is not the only way to win an election.
Okay. You can still win another way.
Yes, you can still win another way.
Okay, let me ask you now. You are a former minister. You've never been a party leader. You've been campaign manager before. You want to be the chairman of the New Patriotic Party. John Boydu is former general secretary. He also wants to be chairman of the party. He's been at national leadership before. Nana Komia has been member of parliament many times. He's entered the race now. He wants to be. Who else is in the race now? Can you remind me? MPP race. There's John Boydu and there is Nana Komia just coming.
Wontumi wants to contest.
Yes. Chairman Wontumi has been regional chairman. He also wants to lead the party. Many people were very excited that you have taken this interest at all, that you want to run for the chairmanship of the party. Some people also say that Boakye Agyarko is very difficult. He's one plug. You're not going to be able to work with him. His discipline things, he takes it beyond the roof. Everything, discipline, too much. Whatever that means. Why should it be Boakye at this time for the NPP?
Well, first let me take on the question is, most of the people who will tell you he's one plug, you can't work with him, they've never worked with me.
Oh, I see.
Right?
But you have been campaign chairman. A lot of people work with you.
I've been campaign chairman. But the minute you give up discipline, you've given up success. In life, the minute you give up discipline, you have sacrificed success. When I was campaign manager, I encountered a lot of these things. Someone will come to the office, oh, minister, you been here 10,000 cedis. And I said, what's the plan?
You want to know what it is for?
Yeah, what are you going to? It's not my money.
It's for the boys.
No, if you say it's for the boys, say so. But you come and just demand 10,000 cedis without explanation, and then I take 10,000 cedis and give it to you, and you walk away. So that when at the end of the day I have to account to the finance committee how those monies are. Oh, somebody came and said 10,000. I've given it to you. I had a process where petty cash. As a banker, I said, look, if you need less than 1,000 cedis, just sign a petty cash. No explanation. That it is on record that I gave Paul Admochiri 1,000 for whatever. Master, you think this is bank money? I'll sit you down patiently and say, okay, you go and bring your own money into the pool and sit and watch me give it out the way you are talking about. And I saw him say, but you want me to abuse somebody else's money. In banking,
but in campaign, there has to be abuse of money.
It's campaign. Darocha used to say that.
Darocha didn't win any election.
No, Darocha used to say that when you send somebody with 100 cedis to go and do something, thank your stars that 40 cedis got the work done. No, 60 cedis got the work done. Because the 40 cedis are handling charges.
Handling charges, yeah.
Right. I am not against that.
Okay.
But I'm always in favor of proper planning. Look, when people donate monies to campaigns, I call it sweat equity. They want your party to use that money to do something that will put the party in power and serve our collective good.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, if I treat it as silly money, I'm insulting them. They could have used that money for silly money themselves.
Okay,
let us get the work done, right? Discipline ourselves. let us say that I've given you an assignment, you've gone and done it, right? But if you don't do it, if I give you a critical assignment, you don't do it, and I'm supposed to smile at you and say, oh, enyeshi. You don't run any organization like that.
So clearly you're a man of discipline. Why should it be you, Boakye Agyarko, now for the NPP?
For the large part, I will ask my assessors to make that assessment. The overwhelming support that I have received,
it's been overwhelming in 48 hours. Massive.
Suggests to me that our party people see certain things in me, in character, in efficiency and performance. Look, running a Akufo-Addo's campaign was not a walk in the park. I started with Akufo-Addo in terms of management around 2010, ending in 2016.
Oh, 16, that long.
Yeah, it was a lot of 2016, the second campaign, I was in charge of policy.
Who was in charge of this 2016 campaign? Cameron, was it Peter McMahon?
Peter McMahon,
okay.
Seconded by Lord Comey and Lord Comey and Mustafa Hamid.
Mustafa Hamid, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you were on the policy side.
Yes, I was on the policy side. Now, that is a lot of work. I worked with a lot of people. So how does somebody say, "Ontimini nipa nyeju"?
Okay, I get that. Does Akufo-Addo approve this, your ambition? Do you know?
Well, I've spoken to him. Hitherto, he had asked me to follow that path.
Okay.
Hitherto, he had asked me to follow that path. Minds didn't meet. Hitherto, President Kufuor had asked me to follow that path.
Chair the party.
Minds didn't meet because I had my own issues, my own baggage, and settling matters with family and so on. You know, until you've dotted all the I's and crossed the T's, don't get into high-level politics.
I see. That's why in your statements you made the point that you have spoken to family people.
Yes, you have.
Now you have the.
From my experience, from my observations, if there's no peace or full backing of your family, you won't be a successful. You have difficult times.
That's correct. Please let me announce to viewers, I'll be finishing the interview in 5 minutes. But those who want me to ask Boakye about why he left the energy ministry, what happened, it's not part of the interview. I'm really sorry about that. We're not talking about that. If he wins the chairmanship and comes back, maybe we can deal with that. Today is more critical things. Do you believe in spirituality towards elections? Do you want to go and see a pastor to be prayed for? Do you want a malam to come in and look at the candidates and all of that? Do you want to do some numerology on the dates chosen for the election and all of those things? The color the candidate should wear to go and vote, the photograph that goes on the ballots, do you want it to submit it to a pastor in some place, Dumfanyame or something like that, so they pray on the photograph? Are you minded to do these things as chairman of party?
No.
No?
That's the belief of a lot of people. That is not my belief. I believe in one God whose word is true.
Yes, correct.
We are all spiritual. Our beings, we are spiritual, right? So, for instance, when somebody dies, why do we say "oko"? Why neko? The body is here.
So the soul is gone, yeah.
Yes, there is something else.
Yes, but if you believe in God, you can have your Catholic priest have a look at it, the photo.
In all your endeavors, right, make sure that you place yourself before God, right? Placing yourself before God could be through your pastor or whatever your belief system dictates. But I don't think that they determine outcomes. That outcome is in God's hands.
Yes, but you want the pastor to pray over the photograph that's going on the ballot.
So if the photograph is not there and the pastor prays, God will not hear.
No, you take the photograph to the pastor so he anoints it.
What I'm saying is, when Christ told the centurion, "Go, your daughter has been made well."
Okay, so you are faith unlimited.
Yes. Look,
You are not direction. Let's go and walk on the sea for
let me
30 steps around the party office.
All
Let's go and run the
all
Independence
of those
Square.
things, if it's God's way, God's will, why did God tell Neymar to go and swim in the Jordan?
Yes, that's also there.
All right, that's also there. God's directions are his directions. My experience teaches me or makes me weary. Look, from 2006 and all through my campaign years, I've had pastors, malams come to the office with all kinds of predictions, none of which have worked. Sometimes one pastor comes and says this, the next day another pastor comes and says, Nyamisi, the direct opposite. Nyamene no kreye bako.
Yeah.
And it is not possible for God to tell one pastor this and tell another pastor something diametrically opposed. The only time I know of this is when God put that spirit of lying in 400 prophets.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to get Ahab and Jehoshaphat. Right? He had to get prophets to lie to them so that they will fall into his trap. Apart from that, God's word is certain, it is always true, and he will not tell one pastor this and the other pastor something opposite. I've seen it many times, many times more than I care to count. So for me, it is always me going on my knees before the Almighty God and praying for his guidance, for his intervention.
Okay. I have to be ending now. People want me to ask you, how is your brother's family? Your brother who died, Jaco?
Well, they are holding up. The kids they are now in 6th form.
Oh, good.
GIS.
Yes, I've been meeting you then. People like the way you have taken it upon yourself to.
Look,
that was a very, really sad event. Really sorry to remind you of it.
I haven't recovered.
I can imagine.
Because of who he was. I mean, he was my only uterine brother.
I see. He was younger?
He was directly after me.
Okay.
And the way we bonded and gelled, people called us Ataniata. You know. And I say to myself that if anything had happened to me, what Kwabena would have done in my absence, you clap for him.
Wow.
So it's nothing. These are kids who have lost
four of them, right?
5.
5, okay.
Who have lost their father in the most bizarre and tragic way. I must corral all of them. I can never replace their father, but I can give them a sense of hope that it is not lost, and give them the opportunity so that they will rise above their circumstances and become better than myself and his father. That is the responsibility I have.
Fantastic. We wish you well in that. Do you have text messages? Can I take text messages? Yes, let's take 1 or 2 each, and then Bashi will give us a final word, maybe a prayer, and then we leave it there. Okay.
All right, so from Jacoby, he says, character, efficiency, and performance. A winnable trait which distinguishes Honorable Boakye to lead the NPP in this period and time. A personality we so need to champion the affairs of the NPP to victory, with Honorable Brian Lechampong as flag bearer. Good evening, Paul. This is from Jacoby. Ishmael says, Paul, Honorable Boakye is the best to lead and is the next to lead as national chairman. God bless him for responding to our call to help salvage the party. Our founding fathers are very happy with him. And lastly, from Salga, this is a different opinion. He says, discipline is not the best way to go with the indisciplined opposition like the NDC. Please, we need rough leaders to match the indisciplined energy of the NDC. I don't know about that. What do you have for us, Kofi?
So Bennett Dansu says, Paul, please extend my regards to Honorable Jaco Boakye Chairman. Tell him I said he is fit for purpose and I fully endorse his chairmanship bid. And from Nanayao Shadmos, he says, wow, so happy to see Honorable Jaco. He is our Honorable Chairman, and Nana Komia as General Secretary will be a perfect opportunity to win back power in 2028. And lastly, commentator the Atawi says, our party has a golden opportunity to calm the troubled waters and harness our collective resolve to be the party of the people. Honorable Boakye is deep in thought experimental in leadership, skillful in tact, and will be a strategic choice for the party. This man has the ethos and reflects our tenets as a party, and we as MPP have this one chance to get it right. I am for Honorable Boakye, and that is it for the comments.
All right. Boakye Ejaku, give us a final word. What would you say?
Well, there are too many things to say, so I'll rather end it with a prayer. But I'll take the prayer from the Quran.
Okay.
When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was confronted with many difficulties and challenges, he went crying to Allah in despair. And Allah told him something that is captured in the Al-Quran. And this is what I would want to share with our viewers, that however bad it may look, it's not that bad. And the recitation is fa inna ma al yusri usra, inna ma al yusri usra.
That's Arabic?
Yes.
You speak it?
From the Quran, yes.
Okay.
Not ordinary.
Okay, go ahead.
Fa inna ma al yusri usra, inna ma al yusri usra. He's saying, what haven't I taken you out of in life? Remember that after every adversity there is ease. Yes, after every adversity there is ease. Fa inna ma al yusri usra, inna ma al yusri usra. That's how I want to end it.
Wow. Fa inna ma al yusri usra.
Yusru.
Fa inna ma al yusri usra. Fa inna ma al yusri usra. Please vote for Boakye Ejaku. Good night.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Praise God. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing the Christian things